What is going on, everybody? Seth here. This is going to be our final mock draft before the NFL draft tonight. I didn't get around to all those videos I talked about that I wanted to do. Life just got busy. It is what it is. But I'm going to try to be active immediately after the draft with draft content, winners and losers, stuff like that, and all the film study I've talked about that I want to do from last NFL season. Um, with that being said, this is a predictive mock draft. It's what I think is going to happen, not what picks I think should happen. So keep that in mind. I'm just trying to be as accurate as I can um, for the NFL draft. I scouted 103 players. That's what I got to. So I have, or I scouted, yeah. So I have my 103 top 103 big board. I'm gonna try and post pictures of it on all my socials today before the draft. I gotta leave in like 20 minutes, so that's why I'm rushing. I can't put my big board on here and everything. I just got off work, so but yeah, let's try and knock this out. It's gonna be quick since I am in such a hurry. Cam Ward is gonna be a Titan. That's just a lock at this point. It's what the pick is. We don't need to explain it. Another lock is Travis Hunter to the Browns. Originally, I thought it would be Abdul Carter, but the past few days, all signs are pointing to Travis Hunter being a Cleveland Brown. Giants here, number 3 overall. There's been rumors of the Bears trying to trade up number 3 overall. Apparently, they have gave the Giants an offer. I don't think the Giants take it. If you're Joe Schoen and Brian DeBull, um, you do not care about future draft capital. You're trying to keep your job. Um, and I think trading back to number 10 overall to likely just take Shedeur Sanders would get you fired anyways. So just stick and pick with Abdul Carter. Patriots number 4 overall. Um, this is another lock pick. Will Campbell, it's not what I would do, I think, but you're likely getting a really good player no matter what. If he doesn't work at tackle, like I don't think he will, he'll just be a really good guard. So maybe it's not the player I would take, but it's still a really good player. It's still a good pick, and it seems like a lock at this point. Jaguars are number 5 overall. I think yesterday was when the rumors started, but Genty to Jaguars is very possible now. But I think they're gonna um, this rumor is gonna happen, which is them trading number 5 overall pick to the Chicago Bears. The Bears go up and get Genty. I think they're gonna have to give up a lot of value. Maybe they have to give up their future first, and that's what it is: 10 and a future first for 5. But I'm not gonna lean into that. I'm gonna say this is around the value they have to give up. Still a lot of value. Um, and maybe you just want to give that future first so you don't lose any other value in this draft and you believe your first is going to be late because I think it will. They have a very good roster and we know what Ben Johnson can do with running backs. So I think Genty could be the final piece for that offense. Now you just have to fill out your defense a little bit more. If you get Genty, you're Super Bowl contenders, in my opinion. So this is a worthwhile trade for sure. And Jaguars load up on picks and probably still get the player they want anyways at number 10 overall. So Genty to the Bears. Raiders, I predicted this last mock draft. I think Membu is going to be the pick. DJ Glaz is the only problem there with them maybe not going Membu, but I think they'll pick him. Solidify the offensive line, put him at right tackle. Jets here, I think it's one of two players. It's either Membu or Tyler Warren. Membu is gone, so Tyler Warren will be the next big player, big weapon in that offense for the Jets. Panthers here, number 8 overall. Again, I think it's between one or two players, Ted McMillan or Jalen Walker. I'm just a lot more confident in Jalen Walker being the pick. I think that's a lock at this point. Saints are number 9 overall. I think they're going to want to focus on the defense in this situation. They're going to focus on the defensive line. They could go Mason Graham, but I think they're going to go edge. And what do the Saints like in their edge rushers? Athletic, high upside players. That's what Mykel Williams is. He had the injury last year, but his improvement is insane. I think he's a very high upside player. He could end up being one of the best players in this class. The best edge rusher in this class is the possibility for him. So let's go ahead and lock Mykel Williams to the Saints. Jaguars are number 10 overall. They get the player they wanted originally, number 5 overall. They get Mason Graham. I think this is what's going to happen tonight. 49ers are number 11 overall. Um, all signs are pointing to Kelvin Banks being a high draft pick. I don't know if he goes number 6 to the Raiders like people are starting to say, but I think he will be um, more towards the fringe top 10 range. And this is a perfect fit for him. The 49ers need help all over the offensive line. I think Kelvin Banks will play tackle in the NFL, but he can play short-term guard and then eventually replace Trent Williams. So let's go and send Kelvin Banks to the 49ers. Cowboys here, number 12 overall. It looks like they're going receiver. That's what the betting odds are saying. I don't think it's a lock that they go receiver, but at this point, it is the most probable position for them. And if they do go receiver, I think they could very well go Ted McMillan, but I'm going to have them go Matthew Golden, keep him in Texas. Dolphins here, number 13 overall. I think this is a trade back spot. And the team that I think is going to trade up is the Los Angeles Rams. They tried to trade up for Brock Bowers last season or last draft. Did not work out for them. I don't think they're going to let Colson Loveland slip out of their hands. If he goes number 14, or if he falls number 14, the Colts are taking him. So they're going to sacrifice a future first to get Colson Loveland. I think this is going to happen tonight. Colson Loveland is a very good tight end, and the Rams might think their Super Bowl window can open back up if they get Colson Loveland. So they're not going to worry about sacrificing another first next season. Colts number 14 overall. Both of the tight ends are gone now. If one of them falls, they're going to be the pick. But in this situation, there's a few different routes you could go. You could go interior offensive line. You could go defensive back. But I think Walter Nolan would be the pick in this situation. You go interior defensive line. And Walter Nolan is getting a lot of first-round buzz, a lot of early first-round buzz. I don't think he'll go top 10, but this seems in the range that he could go. I'm not the biggest fan of him. He's actually outside of my top 50. Just outside. He's at number 51 on my big board. But so I don't think this would be a great pick, but it is a good pick. He's a very promising player. So let's go and send Walter Nolan to the Colts. Falcons here, number 15 overall. This is another easy pick for me. I think I'm going to go edge rusher, and if he's available, Mike Green fits the team perfect, fits the defense perfectly. I think he will be the pick for them tonight. Cardinals here at number 16 overall. A few different routes they could go. They could go interior defensive line. Kenneth Grant is available. He would be a good fit for them. Edge rusher is not off the table, even though they signed Josh Sweat in the offseason. The cornerback position is a big need. Just defense in general is a huge need. I think Will Johnson is a possibility here, although I think he will slip a little bit further due to the injury concern. Jahdae Barron is definitely a possibility here. And Trey Amos is even a possibility here, I think. But I'm going to have him go receiver. I think it's a very, very big possibility. And it's what a lot of people are mocking to them. So I'm going to send Emeka Egbuka to the Arizona Cardinals. Get the Ohio State boys back together and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka. Bengals here, number 17 overall. I think they're going to go edge rusher. They also need interior offensive line, but I think edge rusher is a much bigger need. And what do the Bengals like in their edge rushers? Athletic, lengthy edge rushers. That's what Shamar Stewart is. A very high upside player. Maybe I think they'll take him to be the replacement for Trey Hendrickson. Reset that defensive line. Try and rebuild the defense in general because it sucks. And you start with Shamar Stewart, a very high upside player. He's number 44 on my big board. But paired with the right defense, if they can unlock his upside, he'll be a very good player. So Shamar Stewart to the Bengals. Seahawks number 18 overall. They could go receiver. I don't think they go receiver at this point. My dream fit for them is Nick Amenwari. Have him be Mike McDonald's Kyle Hamilton in this defense. But I think they're going to go offensive line here. And the perfect player for them here is Gray Zabel. He's top 10 on my big board. Yep, number 10 overall exactly. And he can play all over the offensive line. He can play right tackle, when Abe Lucas is injured because he gets injured all the time. And maybe you just want to get rid of Abe Lucas because he is injured all the time. Or he'd slide into guard for you and be a great guard for you. And you need help in the interior offensive line really bad. So Gray Zabel is a perfect fit for the Seahawks. I think he'll be the pick at number 18. Bucks here, number 19 overall. Them taking receiver has really heated up. Both Daniel Jeremiah and Pete. Gosh, why am I blanking on his name? What is his name? Let me go to my Twitter likes. He posted his one and only mock draft. Schrager, Peter Schrager. There we go. They both had the Bucks going receiver. I didn't think this would be a possibility just a week ago, but I do get it. You have probably 1 year left of Mike Evans, and Tedero McMillan is here. Even if he's not here, even if it's Ibuka or Golden, you're going to need a receiver very soon. You're going to need a contingency plan. And I know you have 3 good receivers for this year, but there's no shame in taking your receiver now so you don't have to later. There's a lot of holes in the defense. So I understand saying receiver would be a bad pick. I personally would go edge rusher here or cornerback. But Tedero McMillan could be your next Mike Evans. So I think they're going to go receiver tonight. That's what all signs are pointing to. And if Tedero McMillan is there, that'll be their pick. Let's go Tedero McMillan to the Bucks. I'm not as high on him as some people. I have number 28 on my board as my wide receiver 4, but he could very well be their next big body receiver like Mike Evans is. If you're the Broncos and you're sitting and picking, this is the dream scenario for you. Omarion Hampton fell right into your lap to be your bell cow running back. Number 5 on my board. I love him. Steelers number 21 overall. I think it's pretty clear that they like Shedeur Sanders, and I think Mike Tomlin is finally gonna go ahead and take the swing at a risk in Shedeur Sanders. I personally would not do this. I think he's a 3rd round talent. He is where on my board? Number 61 on my board. So he's in my top 75, but I think he's more of like a 3rd round talent quarterback. Let me see if I can get my. I just realized that my face cam stopped working. Let me see if I can get that up here real quick. There we go. There we go. But yeah, so I think Mike Tomlin will finally take the swing at a risk. I don't think it'll work out, but we'll see what happens. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler at the end of the night. Chargers here, number 22 overall. If Colson Loveland or Emeka Egbuka isn't here, I think it's going to be who everybody is saying it's going to be right now, which is Kenneth Grant. He pairs back with Jim Harbaugh. Packers here, number 23 overall. I think it's going to be a receiver or cornerback. You're going to lose Jaire Alexander, and you just need a receiver. And Will Johnson is maybe my favorite cornerback I've ever scouted. He has the injury concern. I get it. But he's definitely worth taking a shot at number 23 overall, especially because you're losing Jaire Alexander, so you're going to be desperate for cornerback. And you get to go and snipe him from the Vikings, who also need a cornerback. And you don't want Brian Flores to get that. So let's go instead of Will Johnson to the Packers. Vikings here, number 24 overall. There is still a monster defensive back left for Brian Flores, and that is Nick Emmanwori. Just pair him with Brian Flores. Let him succeed in the Minnesota defense. Texas here, number 25 overall. I think you're going to go off this line. I think you have to. And Josh Simmons is my number 3 player on the board before injury. So I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be cleared for next season. So you just traded Laremy Tunsil to the Commanders. Go ahead and reset your offensive line, starting with your left tackle of the future. And he can just be a really good guard if he doesn't work out at tackle. Dolphins here, back on the clock at number 26 overall after trading back with the Rams. I think Jahdae Barron would be the pick here. He fell all the way to number 26 overall in your laps. That's probably who you're considering at number 13 overall anyways. So you got an extra 1st round pick, and you get maybe the player you're going to take at 13 anyways. Ravens at number 27 overall. I think at this point you'd go edge rusher, and Donovan Ezraku has fallen into your laps. Very athletic edge rusher. DaCosta would have a field day with him. Lions at number 28 overall. I think with the way this board fell, you go Tyler Booker, you feel your need at guard. Commanders number 29 overall. I think there's a very good chance that they trade out of this position. But I couldn't think of a team that would trade up here. I mean, maybe a team traded for Josh Connerly, but I'm going to stick and pick with the Commanders here. Have them go Nick Gordon. Bills available, or Bills here, number 30 overall. I think at this point, Malachi Starks will be the pick. You're in desperate need of a premier safety. Chiefs here, number 31 overall. Go ahead and take Josh Connerly. Get your tackle of the future. You need help all over the offensive line. Then finally, Eagles here, number 32 overall. They had a top 30 visit with him. I think he can play short-term guard and be your eventual lane. Why am I blanking on his name? Lane Johnson replacement. I love Donovan Jackson. I think he's a first-round talent. Let's send him to Philadelphia. That is my predictive final mock draft. We'll see how good I do. But yeah, we'll see you after the draft. Let's wait for it. Yep, there it is. All right, thank you.